Hi guys, good afternoon. First day of the trading week, the 8th of June. Stocks, well, S&P up nearly 20 points on the day. Relatively range bound though, you would have to say. Fed on Wednesday, so I'm more of a fan of just sort of holding back, to be honest. I don't really want to be a buyer unless we can get a close of the day above this area, basically where we had the high on Friday, but you can see the importance of this point here going back to 31st of Jan, the 24th of Feb, and then you can see we broke down on the 25th. So yeah, I'm a buyer above there. I'd like to also see it come a bit lower as well. So really for me, I'm just waiting. Let's have a look more intraday on that just to see if that comes in, any possible opportunities. You can see a lot of resistance and above there. We had another overnight test of it, 1, 2. Is that going to be the time that it goes? You'll have people sort of looking for that. To the downside, you can see we've got this new range. This is what I was on about. You can just see how we are held in here with a couple lows, couple highs. So yeah, same to the downside, and people will be potentially looking for a short down to maybe these points here that we traded on Friday. But yeah, the key levels 32.13 and 31.31 for me to keep an eye on. Let's have a quick look over at the euro, which on the daily is pushed on. We got a rejection of this high, we got a rejection of this high as well, and we are starting to drift down. I think just be aware of the 3rd of June high, which isn't far away from we're trading. The buyers will want to come in and control this point. We are due a move lower, so we've seen that. We're a fair bit off the high that we had. So yeah, I mean, for the buyers, you would say above the pivot is interesting. Again, no harm in being late to that, something like this. To the downside, obviously it's a key level, so a break of that, and you could be looking for the confirmation of the move lower. It feels like this week is a wait and see ahead of the Fed. Euro, obviously you can see here just under a bit of pressure, but it's not down massively, really, is it, from where it opened? I think if we have a look, was it down 16 pips? It's not much. The pound only down 8 and has recovered a bit from a lovely area of support. You can see here these highs, lows, and we came in there as well. So yeah, it's you've got a bit of risk on happening, in stocks. As you can see, we're just pushing higher. The Nasdaq, the Dow, and the S&P just pushing on a bit. The Nasdaq actually just lagging. Actually is only up 13 and a bit points on the day. Probably worth having a little trend line on these highs as well. But yeah, that's helping the pound. The Aussie, fantastic moves over the last sort of few weeks. That's up again. The Kiwi, you can see pushing on as well. Looking at on the day, these markets are incredibly almost in positive territory for the year. You can see here on the Aussie. I mean, look at that candle, insane. So yeah, no harm in waiting. I think today is the summary of all of that. But longs if we can get above, shorts if we can get below. But I'm a fan of waiting. Is the summary of that.